Alrighty, this is part two. If you hear the noise, I am eating something, guys. I'm eating some nice tacos. So taco with chicken, hot sauce, and like some tomatoes, onions, and like lettuce. Fucking amazing. So, yeah, yeah. So when I write my script, I am not going to. Okay, Peter. I think it's best we write the script on a notebook, and then I'll hire someone to write to type out what we wrote down for the afternoon. So while we're doing the concert arts in a nice building, you know what I'm saying, from a nice Gran Turismo property, you know what I'm saying, I'll have someone. I'll have that. I'll hire a fast typewriter to type up my I don't know, the 2 3 pages I wrote down in the first half of the day. That way, by the end of the day, I can have John Favreau print out a copy of the script, and you can give it to Peter Jackson, and he can take his notes and he'll tell him we're going to mull it over for an hour. Hey, Peter, dedicate a good hour and a half to even 2 hours of your time, and carefully take your notes with Guillermo del Toro. And the next day, you give me your next day. I'll have John Favreau print a copy of your notes. I'll go over your notes and I'll write in my notes. VJ will help me write in my notes for the scenes. That way, I help Peter Jackson out, obviously. But Peter Jackson will need my help. He's a talented director. But because Zane's is my baby, I know what's best for my story. Obviously, it doesn't hurt to give him your input too. So I'm saying that way you get a good movie. And I'll do a thing where I'll invite Peter to my yacht. I'll invite Peter to my condo. I can invite Peter to my condo. We can watch. We can watch. I can have him be in my what? Have him be in my private IMAX room. We can watch Prince of Egypt, Passion of the Christ. Have him with Toro, John Favreau if only come to your condo. Obviously, and can watch my movies. And that way you give Peter some good ideas for your movie. Obviously, and you get a good movie. Some singer. Yeah. But Peter, please, I don't want that Rings of Power look, man, for my fucking Zanis movie, man. You know the show Rings of Power looks very computery. Yeah, it looks a little natural in some scenes, obviously. But Rings of Power, I believe, is the most expensive show ever made. Amazon's making like 4 seasons for like $1 billion. Obviously. Some saying? Yeah. The world looks amazing, but it looks a little bit computery. I'm like, Peter, I don't want that computery look. But at the same time, I don't want the world to look too natural either. You need to mix it. If you say you don't want CGI, no, Peter, you need CGI. If you don't have CGI, the movie will be terrible. You need CGI to have that beautiful fantasy world feel, but have balance. Balance your natural look with your CGI look, Peter. That way you have, like your Lord of the Rings movie. Hey, Ivan, what are you thinking of? I'm thinking like your Lord of the Rings movie. Your Lord of the Rings movie looked very natural, but at the same time, you had some CGI that made the world look more amazing. So, Peter, I love CGI, but you need to mix it with physical effects, practical effects. That way your world looks more natural. You know how Helm's Deep looked amazing, The Shire, yeah, but you had some CGI to make it look better, yeah. Do that for your movie. Do that for your movie, Singer. Do that for your movie. Do that for your movie. Obviously. And Peter, we need to follow the book. I don't want you doing what you did for Lord of the Rings, where you cut out like fucking like 80% of what's in the book, man. You made some major changes. Ivan, did Peter Jackson have major changes? Yes, he had some major changes in the movie. The character of Faramir is not the same in the book. In the book, Faramir overcomes the temptation of the ring, whereas in the movie, he what? He's like the ring will go to Gondor. Like that's not in the book. You see what I'm saying? Frodo sending Sam home. That's not in the book. That was all. That was all added by Peter Jackson, obviously. Peter Jackson told me, Ivan, yeah, so for Lord of the Rings, I had no choice, man. Like Jared Tolkien, it's impossible to follow 100% of his story. Otherwise, you're looking at like a 25-hour movie, something crazy. Yeah, hence why I believe Warner Bros. Should have made 6 movies instead of 3. You can't make Lord of the Rings for 3 movies. No, you have to. They should have told it book by book, and you would have got at least a good 55% of what's in book one, book two, book three, book four, book five, book six. But instead, what they did was they had 3 movies, and that's why Peter Jackson had no choice. He had to cut out like almost everything that's in the book, man. When I mean almost everything, guys, like the book is much different from the movie. It's not the same thing at all, man. It's not the same. Even the dialogue is different too. A lot of difference in dialogue, a lot of changes Peter Jackson made. He was faithful to the concept and themes of the story, obviously. Frodo destroying the One Ring, Aragorn becoming king. You know what I'm saying? Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas, and Gandalf, all of them, they what? They fight the armies of Sauron and Saruman, obviously, of Isengard, right? But it's different in the book, obviously. For example, in Two Towers, the Battle of Hornsburg, Helm's Deep happens in the middle of the book, whereas in Peter Jackson had it be at the end of the movie. See what I'm saying? Yeah, Shelob's lair. You know what I'm saying? The scene when Frodo gets stabbed by a spider, that's in Two Towers. That's all in Two Towers. Peter Jackson put that in Return of the King. Yeah, there's a lot of differences when you read the book and watch it. People be like, oh, don't worry about it. Your book is much easier to follow than fucking J.R.R. Tolkien's book. J.R.R. Tolkien's book's fucking a drag to fucking follow. You know what I'm saying? He has so much stuff going on. It's crazy. Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien has so much stuff going on in every page. It's impossible to follow 100% of the story. You can't do it. You can follow maybe 60, 70% of the book, but not 100. If you follow 100% of J.R.R. Tolkien's book, you're looking at like a 10 movie series, like something crazy, like a 9, 10 movie series. Something crazy, man. Whereas my book, you can follow a good 70% of it easily. It's much easier to follow my book. Whereas Lord of the Rings is not as easy to follow. Peter Jackson told me, oh, your book is much more easier to follow. It's not as complex as Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? J.R.R. Tolkien has so many lands. I have to cut out like a lot of lands in my movie. I have to cut out characters. Whereas all your characters I can easily put in the movie. Yeah, I don't want you cutting out any characters in my fucking movie, Peter. I want all the characters to have a part to play for the plot. I don't want you cutting out any of the characters. See what I'm saying? I don't want you cutting out any of the characters, Peter. See what I'm saying? And Peter, please, I don't want you filming like multiple volumes at the same time during production. Let's film volume one first. You need to have these actors prepare mentally to face these demons. You know what I'm saying? I know, Peter, you're excited. You know what I'm saying? You want to film volume three. No, film volume one first, and we're done. Okay, that's a wrap. Volume one's complete, and you film volume two, and you film volume three. Obviously, you film volume three afterwards. That way, the actors, all the Zane's actors, are all prepared mentally to fight these demons in the caverns. In the caverns, all those actors fight all those demon bats. You know what I'm saying? In the end, you have a big, and you know what I'm saying? In volume two, John Boyega, because he's more, chances are I am going to choose him over Daniel Kaluuya. Don't hate me, Daniel Kaluuya. John Boyega and Digimon Su are going to have to fight those what? For Fool and his Demon 25 Wolves in volume two. In the beginning of volume two, you need to what? You need to have these actors, you need to have John Boyega and them prepare mentally to fight those demon beings. You're looking at devils, guys. You're looking at demons. I'm saying. I'm not kidding around, guys. I know you guys think I'm crazy. Look, man. If imagine if I create an unheard of demonic mass like that Annabelle picture and I put $400 million towards special, even more, 420 towards special effects, you're looking at demons, guys. You're looking at walking devils. So for Lord of the Rings, they only put probably, I don't know, 25, $30 million towards special effects, and you got creepy looking orcs and ring wraiths like that. Imagine me putting $400 million towards these demonic beings. You're looking at walking demons and devils. Hence why my movie will have crazy, crazy buzz, man. You're listening crazy. And if I build that IMAX chain, you're looking at even crazier buzz. I'm gonna put the thing in the ad. Experience. Are you ready? Are you ready to experience the most horrific beings in movie history? Walking devils. Yeah, you put that in the ad. You know what I'm saying? You guys will know how scary Aratat is when you see what? You guys will know how scary Aratat is when you see what? When you see the You guys will know how scary Airhead is when you see what? When you see the first trailers and when you see the documentary. Well, the documentary, you're not really going to see him. I'm going to release my documentary 2 weeks before the release day at the theaters. That way it builds buzz. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to release a documentary on my website. I'm not going to release it with my 4K Blu-ray. No, just release it on your website, something like Netflix. And I'll release it for free. I'm not going to charge you guys for that. Because me and Vij are gonna make our $10 million back. The $10 million budget for the doc is part of the $985 million budget. So me and Vij are gonna make our money back. I'll release my documentary for free. I won't charge you guys. Because me and Vij are making more enough money. Peter will be like, Ivan, why don't you charge them? You can easily charge them a good $2 for it. You make some money for yourself. I'm like, Peter, I'm making more enough money. I'm not gonna charge the world for the doc. I won't charge you guys for it. You guys will gladly pay for it, obviously, but I'm not gonna charge you guys for the doc. I'll release it for free on my website for you guys to watch. For the world to watch, obviously. And you guys are going to get the world will be excited for that doc too. Crazy buzz. You guys are going to get your popcorn and your what? Your popcorn and you guys are going to get your popcorn and your drinks for that, and your pizza for the documentary too, obviously. But you're going to be more excited for the movie, obviously, at the IMAX theater, obviously. But the documentary will have crazy buzz, man. The whole world will be going on a frenzy, buying food, man. Yeah, man, it looks something crazy. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go get my coffee upstairs. Don't hate me, you know what I'm saying? Skip the video if you don't want to wait. Alrighty, I am back with my coffee. You guys hate waiting, just skip the video if you don't want to wait. Yeah, hence why Zanes will have the craziest buzz at all my movies. Like, even though they're unique, if I build this theater chain, the Great Escape will have crazy buzz because I'm hiring big stars. I'm hiring guys like Keanu Reeves. I'm casting guys like Keanu Reeves, Ben Affleck, and Scarlett Johansson for my movie. And you also have smaller ace actors like John Krasinski, Brie Larson. I might choose someone else, but Brie Larson, John Krasinski, you know what I'm saying? And Javier Bardem, and Paul Bettany, it's gonna have crazy buzz, the Great Escape, but not the kind of buzz like Zayn. Zayn ain't looking to develop himself for Airhead. Hence why it's gonna have crazy buzz. And imagine seeing that in IMAX. An IMAX technology. I'm not only gonna have the IMAX technology from my projector, obviously. I'm also gonna have the IMAX style slide screens. Like a huge, massive screen that's right in your face when you watch it. So whenever you go in the theater, the screen is designed whereby it's right in your face when you watch it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I saw some pictures on Google. I typed in the IMAX theater and I saw the picture that the screen's right in your face. Yeah. You guys can see what I'm saying. I'm gonna build a IMAX theater like that. Nice comfortable seating, nice cup holders, something nice, man. Yeah, man. So imagine the world. I don't know. The world saw the documentary 2 weeks earlier. You guys are gonna binge that documentary every day, obviously, until the movie, and the world's excited for that release at the premiere at the theaters, obviously. For the premiere, I'm gonna have the people write it. I'm gonna have my web designer write in the pre-order for on my website. So I'm going to have two websites. I'm going to have my skysource.net website. I'm going to have my skymaxtheaters.net. So you have my theater website, and you have my company website. And I'm also going to put a link on my main website for the skysource.net website. You can go there and you click. You click obviously, and I'll do this thing where you tell them where you live. You tell them where you live. Obviously, I can also do a thing where you type in your postal code and it shows you the nearest theater next to where you live. That way, you guys can know which theater to go to. Obviously, okay. I live in what? I live in Mississauga. I live in what? I live in Elmer, Quebec. The nearest theater is in Ottawa and Gatineau. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I live in. You know what I'm saying? It shows you the nearest theater. Chances are, all the theaters, all the smaller cities, all the cities where the theaters are not built. Chances are, you'll have a theater at least a good 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away from where you live. Because I'm gonna distribute my theaters worldwide and all over America, Canada. Okay, make sure you put theaters in like major cities. That way it's closer to the people who live next to that city. That way it's convenient for them. You don't want to have these people have to fly to another city. No, have theaters next to areas where they live. If it's a good 1 hour, 2 hour drive, it's not that bad. It's convenient. You know what I'm saying? You want to see a movie at 7 o'clock, you leave at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You arrive to the theaters around 4, 3 o'clock, and you can buy your ticket. You know what I'm saying? And what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For those of you guys who don't want to pay for the expensive food at my theaters, you can eat before you go to the theaters if you want. You don't have to buy my food. You guys will buy it, obviously. Fuck it. I want to watch Ivan's food when I want to watch Ivan's movie when I'm eating my food, man. Yeah, it's a better experience. When you watch movies when you're eating food, it's a better experience, obviously. It's a much better experience. It's a much better experience, I'm saying. It's a much better experience. See what I'm saying? It's a much better experience. Yeah, that's why Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson are going to have that smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Peter Jackson's going to be so happy, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be a smile on his face. He's going to have that smile. Yeah, man. And that's why he'll beg, obviously. Oh, Ivan, can I direct your next movie? I'm like, no, Peter, you're not good for the fucking Secret Agent movie. Like, you don't have experience directing that kind of movie, Peter. You're good for fantasy, but you're not good for those movies. I'm gonna hire the guy from Casino Royale or John Wick to direct my movie, to direct my Grayscape movie. Pay them a guy's like $14 million, and you give them 0.01% of the profits. It's a good deal for them, and they're gonna get the same perks that Peter Jackson got, obviously. I'm not gonna give them full power like Peter. They'll have full power for directing, but not as a producer. They have some power, but not full power, because they're not as big directors. Whereas Peter is big. That's why I give him full power. You know, the guy knows what he's doing. Okay, Peter, I trust you. You have to trust me. Okay, I'll have Peter take that stress off me. So when the art department, all the designers are asking questions, they're all going to come to Peter Guillermo del Toro. Peter will take that stress off me, obviously. I don't have to worry about being lost. Because even though I'm creative, I don't have any experience fucking commanding a movie. And it's hard for someone who has that experience. Peter Jackson has the years of experience. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, King Kong. He produced all those movies. He knows everything about the theater. I know everything about the process. He knows everything about the process. Pre-production, production, post-production. Yeah, hire him now. He takes the stress off of you. And I'm like, holy shit, Peter Jackson knows his shit. They're asking him all these questions. Peter Jackson's answering all the questions. Oh my, Peter Jackson knows his shit. Hey, Ivan, I have like 30 plus years experience, Ivan. 40 plus years experience. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have experience. Jon Favreau directed Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? He's produced, directed, and wrote Mandalorian. He's the boss of all the fucking Star Wars shows. He knows what he's doing. Hence why he's perfect for running my company, obviously. And I'm hiring what? Talented people around me. That way I'm not stressed out, obviously. I'm gonna have George Lucas consult. Give John Favreau if only tips how to run the company. And I'll have him advise. Give me and VJ advice how to run a company. Oh, Ivan, you should do this. And I'll have George Lucas help out Peter too with the notes. You can have him help Pete. George Lucas has experience too. He wrote the prequels. You can have him help out Peter if you want. Peter and I won't have him do dirty work, but I'll have him advise, right? You can have him advise Peter if you want. How to run the movie project if you want. Help him out. Pay George a good $40,000 a year. That's good enough for the 4 years. Pay him something that way he works hard for you, but don't pay him like $100,000. No, for an advisor, you don't pay them that. They're ripping you off. Pay him like $40K a year. That's good enough. There? Yeah. I thought it'd be cool to talk about my Zane's project less. I've been talking about my theater chain for the past, I don't know, 5 days now. I'm going to change the topic. I've talked a little bit about it for this video, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. Yeah, trust me, man. I wrote my book, and I'm telling you right now, if you adapt that kind of story to the big screen, man, you're looking at the best movie trilogy ever made. Even better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, man. I'm not kidding around, guys. Even better than his trilogy, man. By a slim margin, right? Because Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece. Even better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. It's a fucking masterpiece that I wrote. Yeah, man. Some Zanger? It's a masterpiece that I wrote, man. It's a masterpiece that I wrote. There's a reason why the gatekeepers what? There's a reason why the gatekeepers are gonna kill me because they don't want me being with VJ. Obviously, at the same time, they know I'm the son of God. They know Evan Wildbook. They know I have the keys. I can open my own door, and they know I'm gonna make my I don't know, my $27 billion, whatever it is. 17, 15 to $27 billion, $30 billion, most likely $27 billion around there. They know I'm going to make that kind of money, hence why they don't want me having that financial control because they know, yeah, if Ivan has the keys, doesn't have to sell to us. If Ivan doesn't sell to us, he's going to make his like $27, $30 billion off his book, and with that money, he can build his own. He can build his own theater chain with his own money, yeah, and he'll be collecting 100% of the profits. All the profits are going to me and VJ for the ticket sales, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the gatekeepers don't take the gate. Seth families do not get a piece of that. The Hollywood companies do not get a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why they're gonna kill me, obviously. And I'm gonna choose death. I'm brave, I choose death. I cry my fucking heavy anguish tears, obviously, knowing I'm gonna die, obviously. The day happens, I wake up 1 second later, you know what I'm saying? 1 second later, when I'm in that room, I wake up. I get death over with, and I know I'm now free. I beat the gatekeepers, and I get my financial control. I say my final goodbyes in Elmer and Ottawa, obviously, and I empty out my room, and I don't know, 1 month later, I get that fat check on PayPal. I don't know, you got paid $28 billion. I'm like, holy shit. With this money, I can fund, with this, they know with that kind of money, I can start my own film studio. I can fund Zanes with my own cash. I don't have to take loans from the bank. I can fund it with my own, me and VJ can fund it with our own money. And we can build that, take $11 million and fund that, build that theater chain, man. IMAX theater chain worldwide, better than even AMC, yeah, man. Hence why I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to let the fucking gatekeepers do me like that. As if I sold out, the gatekeepers would be taking like tens of billions of dollars. Like the $69 billion of me and VJ made off our movie. The gatekeepers would be taking all that for the box office, and they would give me and VJ maybe $20 million salary, $50 million salary, maybe $300 million of the royalties. They'd probably pay us a lot of money, but they give us peanuts. They give me and VJ like Peter Jackson money, like a $300 million. All right, we'll give you a $300 million royalty. We'll give you 10% of the profits. Hollywood would gladly give me like 10% of the profits because the movie's gonna go smooth. But they're good. The CEOs, the companies will be taking all my money, man. They're not worth my money. It's my money. I'm not gonna let the gatekeepers do like that, man. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna let the gatekeepers do this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously. Sims there. I'm going to talk about my book. Yeah, man. If you think Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings George R. Martin's Game of Thrones series, Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight series, J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, all you Lord of the Rings, there's Lord of the Rings rather, right? If you think those series are good, Harry Potter, if you think those books are good, they're not as good as my Zane story. As my Zane story is better than all those books. I read Lord of the Rings. I read the 3 books. I didn't read the appendices of Return of the King, but I read the whole story. I read all 3 books. It's a good book, obviously, but it's not as good as my book. My book is way more interesting. It's more interesting to read. But I'm going to give you a warning. Some of my book is a little raw in some sections, obviously. Most of it's good, but some of it's, when you read some of it, you'll catch some rawness in some of my writing, obviously. Because I have to do everything myself. Whereas all J.R. Tolkien and all them, they all had professional editors to help them. Whereas me, I did everything myself. Yeah, my younger stepbrother is helping me with grammar and sentence structure, but he's not editing the content of my book. He's only editing the grammar and sentence structures, and he's tweaking a few dialogues here and there. But like, it's my story. I wrote it myself with no help. Because what? I'm on my own, right? They lock all doors with me. It's up to me. I'm on my own. I have to do everything myself. You see what I'm saying? I have to do everything myself, obviously. But my book is still better than J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. It's better than Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Way of King series. It's better than George R. Martin's Game of Thrones series. It's better than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. It's better than Steven Erickson's Malcolm series. And it's better than the late Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. You know what I'm saying? It's better than all those books, man. Better than Patrick Rothfuss's Name of the Wind. It's better than all those books. I know it's better because I read Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings is better than all. Lord of the Rings is known for being better than all those books, and yet I compare it to my book. Yeah, my book is more interesting than Lord of the Rings. Guaranteed, it's better than all those other books. Yeah. If you put $1 billion towards that kind of story, and you have me act as Tactius, you follow that, you write that amazing script, you follow the book, obviously. I'm probably going to follow a good maybe 80% of the book, and I'll add like 20% of details and dialogue in the movie to make it more interesting with Peter and all them. Okay, Peter, I don't mind us adding dialogue and changing some scenes and adding more scenes, obviously, but let's not do a drastic change like we did for Lord of the Rings by cutting out like 80%. No, follow the book, Peter. We need to follow the book. John, Dave, Peter, we need to follow the book. But there's nothing wrong with adding details and dialogue to make it more interesting and changing things in the story. You can have the Eagles, more scenes with the Eagles and young Tactius, more scenes with Eretan and Faful and Famia, more scenes with Job, more scenes. You add more scenes, but follow the story. We add stuff to the scenes that are already in my book to make it more dramatic. You can do that, but follow the story. Don't drift away from the DNA of the story. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably follow a good like 80% of my book, and then add 20% of the others. I'm probably going to omit maybe 1% of my scenes in my book, because my Xaeus doesn't need much changing. See what I'm saying? Xaeus doesn't need much change. Like Peter did for Lord of the Rings. You're like, I have no worry about it. I won't change. We don't need to change much for your book. You wrote a masterpiece. All your scenes translate well on screen. I can picture all your scenes in a movie, Ivan. Whereas Lord of the Rings, J.R. Tolkien has so many things going on in one page. You have Frodo and them camping for 2 days. The next day they walk for miles. You know what I'm saying? You have 30 minutes worth of scenes for just like 3 pages. It's crazy. Yeah. I had to cut out a bunch of live, and I had no fucking choice. J.R. Tolkien's book is fucking crazy. Yeah, yes, J.R. Tolkien's book is so in depth that Peter Jackson even cut out some lands, man. There's some lands that are mentioned in the book that are not in the movie. Peter Jackson even cut out landscapes. Yeah, because J.R. Tolkien's world building is crazy. It's in depth. He has like 40, 50 lands. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, whereas your book, Ivan, you only have like 6, 7 lands. Yeah. You have Xaeus, you have Saris, you have Saphis, you have Barak. And you have the Southern Gilead Mountains, you have the Ancient Gilead Sea. 5 lands. And you have locations like the Forest of Galathia, the Northern Western Gilead Mountains, the City's Edge. You know what I'm saying? And you have what? You have the Southern Gilead Mountains. Yeah, you only have like 11, 12 lands in my fucking book. It's easier to follow, obviously. Whereas Lord of the Rings is tough to follow because you have so many things going on in one page. Some saying? Yeah. And when I write my script, I'll write it on my notebook, pen to paper on a notebook. Me and Peter Jackson will be in the boardroom. We'll be in my nice boardroom, and they're gonna be sitting next to me, and we're gonna write the script. Okay, I want to write the script by pen. That way I focus better. And in the afternoon, I'll hire someone to type out what we wrote down. And by the end of the day, you give Peter Jackson a copy of the script that we can take his notes with Guillermo del Toro in his nice suite in his hotel. And watch movies with Peter. That way you give him good ideas. Okay, I'm thinking something like this for Young Takis, Young Messiah. And you give Peter Jackson, I have some good ideas. You give him some good ideas. Let's watch Prince of Egypt. We can get some good ideas for what? When the people enter the ancient Gilead city. When in Prince of Egypt they all had torches. You have 5,000 Safavians. They journey to the cursed southern western Gilead mountains, and leads to the ancient Gilead city where Ephesus lives. His demon army live. Yeah, like Moria. Yeah, give him some good ideas. See what I'm saying, huh? We can watch Passion of Christ. You know the way Jim Caviezel acted like Jesus, like he was all bold and brave, the Son of God. Obviously, you have that symbolism with Tactius. In Volume 3, when he's more mature, and he grows he gets his full grown beard. Yeah, and before that, he's cocky and looks down on Sullivans. Yeah, you tell Peter that the way he knows. That way you give Peter some good ideas. Sarah. We give Peter some good ideas. That way you give Peter some good ideas. That's why Zane's would be the best story ever told in Multiple Adventure. Yeah, man. And all you Lord of the Rings nerds on Lord of the Rings Reddit who love J.R.R. Tolkien, obviously, once you read my book, you're going to become crazy or even Zanus fans. Yeah. I recommend all you Lord of the Rings nerds and all you nerds on Fantasy Reddit, I recommend before my documentary and movie comes out, I recommend you watch the Lord of the Rings special features, obviously, the documentary, the build excitement for my documentary, and you watch Lord of the Rings and Hot movies, the build excitement for my Zane's movie, and you reread my book. That way I'm gonna reread my Zane's book to build buzz for my Zane's movie, obviously. I'm going to watch the Lord of the Rings documentary, the Hobbit documentary, to build buzz for my documentary. I'm going to reread my book to build buzz for the movie on theaters. IMAX experience, I'm I'm going to rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy and Hobbit trilogy to build buzz for my Zane's movie, obviously, yeah. The closest example I can give for my Zane's movie is Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is a fantasy world. You have all these creatures. The same thing for Zane's. Zane's is a fantasy world. You have the north, the south, the Sauron's, the northerns. You have the wolves. You have the bats. The demon wolves, the demon bats, the curse of Azrael, the holy answer of the north, the cursed crows, like the spies of Saruman and Fellowship of the Ring, yeah. The eagles, yeah. Like the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, yeah. Anyways, if this video, so I remember I'm signing up.